The second part of the anime starts with the participants continuing the fourth exam. The exam will be carried out after the participants choose a position based on the roles they take during the fight. There are 5 positions they can take. First, fisherman, who is a melee fighter during the fight. Second, the spear bearer is in charge of facing the opponent from afar. Third, the light bearer is in charge of lighting up the dark tower with their lighthouse. Fourth, the scout, who is in charge of studying the movements of opponents on the front lines to help fishermen. And fifth, the wave controller is in charge of controlling Shinsu and providing assistance during the fight. Their training will start in 2 days. Long story short, Baam woke up. Kun told him that the woman he thought was Rachel was someone else, and she didn't know Baam. But actually, Kun lied because Rachel had met Kun and asked him to hide it from Baam so that they could both become strong. Then Kun gave Baam new clothes because his old clothes were full of blood. On the other hand, Rachel actually feels jealous of Baam because now he has many friends. After fully recovering, Baam also joins the wave controller class with a male teacher named Renlo Pobia. There were several other participants in the class, including Waryun. Baam then approached Waryun to apologize for hurting her right eye. In the first exercise, they are taught to make an agreement with the administrator in order to issue Shinsu. In the subconscious, Baam meets a giant creature who feels attracted to him and makes a pact with him. In that class, Baam gets a friend named Ho who is jealous of him because he has many friends. But when in front of Baam, Ho is always kind and friendly. While practicing together, Ho became increasingly jealous of him because Baam is always lucky every practice, even his friends always increase. When Ho was in the room, suddenly he received a letter that he did not know who the sender was and what it contained. The next day, Lero explained the rules of the fourth exam. The participants were asked to see the dome building outside, and they would play chase there. There are 2 guards in this game, and one will be chosen by a male ranker named Quant Blitz. Teams that qualify will be awarded 200,000 points, and if they manage to win the Quant badge, they will get another 200,000 points. The game started. They are divided into 2 teams, namely Team A and Team B. Team A is chaired by Kun, who is working on a plan. He appointed Shibisu to lure Quant, but even though he had carried out the task according to plan, Quant still couldn't be defeated, which made him even more annoyed. However, due to his responsibility as a supervisor, Quant tried to contain his emotions and was kind enough to give him 111 seconds to leave. Kun immediately took advantage of the opportunity to tell the others to carry out their second plan, which made Anak as a badge bearer, while the others would be tasked with holding Quant in their respective positions. But their plan failed again because Quant could move so fast that not a single attack could hit him. On the other hand, Quant managed to beat Team A very easily. As a result, Quant managed to arrive at the exit of the bridge, which turned out Kun was already there. Kun tried to convince Quant that Anak had already jumped down to go the other way. Actually, Anak is under the bridge, but she stands on a cube that has been duplicated. Turns out Quant already knew that Kun duplicated his lighthouse and that someone was standing above it. Then Quant took Kun to jump off the bridge. Anak took advantage of that opportunity to pull herself back onto the bridge, while Kun helped Quant to climb back onto the bridge. Unbeknownst to the others, Kun and Laura had apparently been secretly working together to help Quant, causing Team A to lose. Lero, who witnessed the test, was confused about the benefits Kun got from this action, because Kun helps Quant just before his team wins. Han Song-yu also explained that Kun's real goal was to use Team A as information gatherers, so that Baam on Team B could win, because Kun actually already considers Baam as his best friend or someone he can trust. On the other hand, Team B had just entered the test arena. They even argued for the position of leader. The debate stopped after Endorsi volunteered because she was one of Jahad's daughters. It is known that although they are considered children of Jahad, but they are all adopted children who were chosen based on their abilities. They can't have a romantic relationship and can't give birth to children. Then, there are the women who were blessed by Jahad and chosen as the daughters of Jahad. If they violate, they will be killed, as experienced by the biological mother of the children. In contrast to the compact game of Team A, Team B actually betrayed each other, starting from Endorsi, who tried to kill one of the other members to reduce her rival in the next test. The second was experienced by Hots, where the 3 of them were assigned to restrain the movement of Quants, but the 2 of his team just left him. Hots also had to face Quants alone and was beaten badly. The third betrayal was committed by Ho, who attacked Rachel. It turns out that the contents of Ho's letter were that if Rachel disappears, then Baam will disappear too. Soon Quants appeared from behind Ho and Rachel, followed by Baam. This throws Ho's plans into chaos. As a result, Ho also shows his true nature that threatens Baam to kill Quant, while he takes Rachel hostage. When Rachel tries to get away from Ho, she is accidentally stabbed by Ho's knife. Suddenly, Baam, who saw this, unknowingly managed to use a powerful stance. Even Quant judged that his strength resembled a rancor. On the other hand, Ho, who felt desperate, decided to end his life. At the same time, came Endorsi, who tried to fight Quant. Even though her strength was above the other participants, it was not enough to defeat her rancor. Then she used a cunning trick and managed to win by snatching Quant's 2 badges. After the final exam was over, they paid their last respects to Ho. And as a result of the attack at that time, Rachel was diagnosed with paralysis, which forced her to use a wheelchair, so she was disqualified from the tower exam. But Baam is determined to be her feet and take her to the top of the tower. After that, Baam trained with Ren to control Shinsu. Ren is known as a member of the Royal Law Enforcement Division No. 67. At night, Ren was seen making a phone call with someone in the cave. But you caught him, and it turned out that he was a spy assigned to steal the Green April sword, the Black March, and kill Anak. As a result, there was a brief fight between the two of them. Even though Yu's strength was superior, he preferred to close his eyes and ignore what he had just learned. The next day, the announcement of the exam results began, wherein Dorsey, Anak, Dede Concho, and Blairos were chosen to be fishermen. Then Rak, Akryung, Paracule, and Alexei were chosen as spear bearers. Then Shibisu, Hots, and Nare were chosen to be scouts, while Baam and Laura as the wave controller. And the last one is Kun and Rachel as light bearer. However, due to the injury, Rachel was considered a failure. Not accepting the decision, Kun then asked the supervisor to pass Rachel through the administrator exam. The administrator's exam is a tough test that is tested by the direct administrator, where King Jahad used to also take the exam. However, the requirement to take the exam must be an irregular. Broadly speaking, the participants who took the exam were head-on's chosen people. But due to mistakes, sometimes weak people like Baam can follow suit. As a result, Baam was allowed to meet directly with the administrator. Unexpectedly, the administrator's form turned out to be a giant figure who once had a contract with Baam. It is not explained what happened, but Baam finally got permission for Rachel to take the exam. Long story short, the next test begins. In this test, Baam and Rachel will be put into Setsu's bubble to be used as bait, then caught by the trawling dolphins to be eaten by the queen. And if they manage to get out safely, then they would be declared passed, while the task of other friends is to overcome the problem. First, they will face the goblin barnacle who uses a giant worm to suck up fish. Second, striped pigs that make dolphins run away. And finally, stingrays that eat anything that moves. In order to overcome the problem, this time, the team is led by Kun, who is a strategist. Various plans were carried out by Kun, such as sending Shibisu to watch over the dolphins, Hots monitoring the movements of the goblins and giant worms, and the last one was watching the escarpment. At first, nothing strange happened, but suddenly, 2 fishermen died, which turned out to be preyed on by the stingray. Luckily, Anak and Endorsi arrived, which made the stingray not move and intended to run away until Anak was chased by it. It turns out that the stingray is a monster controlled by the killer of Anak's mother, who deliberately came to separate Anak and Endorsi, because that person's main goal is to seize Green April and kill Anak. After that, came the stingray carrying the helpless Endorsi. On the other hand, the group on standby was accidentally caught by the goblins. Rak, who was originally about to run away from the goblins, immediately turned around and then wanted to face the goblins. But he has been surrounded from all directions so that he does not move. Luckily, Laura came to save him with a group of striped pigs until there was an attack between the goblin army and the striped pig group. Back to Anak, who was dealing with her mother's killer, Ren. He even offered Endorsi to kill Anak, as well as clear Endorsi's name afterwards, but Endorsi was more in favor of Anak. So instead, they tried to defeat Ren, but on the contrary, the two of them were beaten badly. But when the children started to get cornered, Yuri suddenly came, accompanied by Shibisu, and immediately shocked everyone there. With just a snap of a finger, Yuri could corner Ren. In addition, Yuri was also able to fend off Ren's attacks easily, and it didn't take long for her to defeat him. On the other hand, it seems that Baam and Rachel are getting closer to their goal, which is the top of the tower. But Rachel's nature began to change from being cheerful at first to being very gloomy and quiet. Suddenly, a stingray appears that attacks their bubbles, thus putting them in danger, because Setsu's bubbles are only able to prevent them from sinking, not resist attacks from outside. Baam immediately attacked the stingray, but his attack failed to hit the target. The longer he was in the middle of the ocean, he felt it would be very dangerous, so he chose to be swallowed by the stingray, then he attacked it from within. Luckily, his attack was able to kill the stingray, so he could get out of the stingray's body safely. However, Rachel's attitude became even more strange. Suddenly, she was able to stand up, and she deliberately pushed Baam out of the bubble. Baam then fell to the bottom of the very dark ocean. The scene changed to a flashback when Rachel was about to take the tower exam for the first time, which turned out to be a mistake, because the one who should have been chosen was Baam, not Rachel. But because Rachel doesn't want to go back into the dark, she pleads with Head-On to be allowed to take the tower exam. Therefore, Head-On also gave her a first test to destroy the black ball in the monster cage. But she refuses because she thinks the exam is too difficult, so Head-On uses Setsu to hide Rachel's whereabouts. And it turns out that all this time, she has seen what Baam has done since the beginning of the exam. From that moment, her jealousy began to appear. Then Head-On makes an offer: if Rachel can kill Baam, then she will be allowed to climb the tower. As a result, Rachel also accepts Head-On's offer to fulfill her ambition so far. Since then, she has always waited for the right moment to kill Baam. And now is the perfect time to kill him since they were alone in the bubble. After that incident, Baam's friends did not suspect Rachel. They speculate that Baam has been eaten by fish. Lero, who was present there, also said that the rankers would contact them about what they should do in the future. In honor of Baam, who had died, they agreed to help Rachel climb up to the tower. With his departure, all of Baam's friends noticed Rachel, so her jealousy disappeared. On the other hand, it turns out that Baam is still alive. He is now aware of Rachel's evil nature. The anime ends. The moral that can be learned is that the person we consider a friend can be crueler than an enemy.